Recently, Serena Williams retired from tennis. And for most athletes, after a long and successful career, retirement is a time for bittersweet reflection. It's a time for gratitude. But gratitude has never quite been the Serena Williams way, I suppose. Neither has maturity, nor dignity, nor likability. And so Serena, staying true to form, is riding into the sunset with her $260 million net worth and whining the whole way out. In fact, she says that her retirement is not prompted by her age, but by sexism. CNBC reports, tennis legend Serena Williams has been a fierce advocate for gender equality both on and off the court. And when she announced her retirement from the sport Tuesday morning, she made an important point about the unique sacrifices women must make in their careers. In a Vogue article, Williams, who turns 41 next month, said that she will retire after the U.S. Open, which begins in late August. The win at the tournament would tie her with Margaret Court's record of 24 Grand Slam titles. Quote, "I have never liked the word retirement," Williams wrote in the article, which was transcribed from her conversation with Vogue contributor Rob Haskell. "Maybe the best word to describe what I'm up to is evolution. I'm here to tell you that I'm evolving away from tennis toward other things that are important to me." Okay, well, so far so good, right? That's all fine, I guess. Almost. I mean, the whole I'm not retiring, I'm evolving bit is pretty annoying and pretentious, but I'm willing to overlook it. And actually, I looked up the full quote. Serena Williams actually said that she would describe herself as in the middle of a transition, but she doesn't want to use that word because she doesn't want to appropriate it from trans people. That's what she said. But we're going to let that go because we have other problems to deal with. The article continues. Williams cited her family as the main reason why she'll step away from the sport, writing that her 4-year-old daughter, Olympia, wants to be a big sister. Williams has been married to Reddit founder Alexis Ohanian since 2017. The desire to expand her family, however, wouldn't be a career-ending move if she were a man, Williams points out. "Believe me, I never wanted to have to choose between tennis and a family," she wrote. "I don't think it's fair. If I were a guy, I wouldn't be writing this because I'd be out there playing and winning while my wife was doing the physical labor of expanding our family. Maybe I'd be more of a Tom Brady if I had that opportunity." Okay, so there's the problem. And it's difficult to know exactly how to respond to that because it's so crushingly stupid and incoherent. It's also self-contradictory, as she was just worried about being sensitive to trans people, and now here she is making the transphobic claim that men don't have babies, and that's very problematic. But that aside, it's not clear what her complaint is exactly. Like, she whines that men don't have to do the physical labor of expanding the family, but what does that mean? Is she referring to the fact that women are more likely to be the primary caretakers of children? Well, that can't be it because she has hundreds of millions of dollars and certainly already has an army of nannies and various other servants on standby. She's not home every day raising her current 4-year-old daughter. She's obviously made arrangements there, so why couldn't she do the same thing for the next child? When you've got $200 million in the bank, there's no reason why, if you don't want it to, there's no reason why having a kid would stop you from doing anything you want to do. If you have no problem with having a nanny raise them. Or is she, when she says physical labor, is she actually referring to the labor of labor? Is she talking about the fact that women are the ones who physically bear and deliver children? Well, we could only assume that that's what she meant. And if so, her complaint is less petty and selfish than it is just insane. I mean, it's not fair that women are the ones who give birth? What? What do you mean not fair? Who are you registering this complaint with exactly? Nature? God? Or do you imagine that human reproduction is a patriarchal conspiracy, as if sinister white men in smoky rooms conspired to set things up this way? Calling a woman's role in human reproduction unfair is like saying it's unfair that birds can fly and we can't, or it's unfair that gumdrops don't fall from the sky when it rains. It's unfair that there isn't actually a pot of gold at the end of a rainbow. An unfair thing is a thing that happens outside of the rules or not in accordance with the principles of justice. That's what's unfair. So what rule, what principle of justice is violated by the nature of human reproduction? Any claim of unfairness is an appeal to some higher authority or principle. So again, who or what is being appealed to here? To top it all off, Serena is bitterly complaining about a pregnancy that hasn't happened yet. She's going to try to get pregnant, potentially having to use medical assistance given her age, and yet she's complaining the whole way as if the thing she's planning to do in the future and says she wants to do is nonetheless going to happen against her will. It makes no sense. Well, that's not exactly true. I can make some sense of this. Serena Williams, like any sufficiently modern and progressive Western person, hates herself and she rejects herself. See, the way she sees it is that her femaleness is somehow apart from her true self, right? Like there's herself, there's her, and then there's her femaleness, and her femaleness intrudes on her true self, causing inconveniences and interfering with her tennis career. She does not see herself as a completely integrated whole. And that's because nobody on the left does. They divide themselves into pieces and put aspects of themselves at war with other aspects of themselves. They become bitter and sullen, feeling somehow persecuted by nature itself, though they can't explain how, and they don't know who to complain to about it. And the great shame in Serena's case, and in the case of so many leftist women, is that while she's doing all this complaining, she's failing to see the blessing. She sees as a curse what is really a blessing. A woman's ability to conceive, to harbor and bring forth new life onto the earth is a beautiful, miraculous gift. And you know what? It's something far more significant and important than swinging a tennis racket around. So it's not just that she's complaining and whining about it. Oh, why do I have to be the one to give birth? Well, that's one way of looking at it, I guess. But the healthier way of looking at it, the way that has more gratitude and will make you a happier person, that also makes a lot more sense, is to say, I get to be the one. I have been blessed with this enormous gift and also power that men don't have. But as we already discussed, gratitude is unfortunately far outside the reach of people like Serena Williams. And that is why she is today, on the cusp of her retirement, canceled. If you want to join my exclusive fan base, or a cult, as really that's what it is, we're forming a cult, then all you got to do is click the subscribe button and ring the bell below this video to stay up to date with all my content. And if you want even more, you can watch or listen to my show at thedailywire.com, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. Looking forward to welcoming you to the Sweet Baby Gang.